In this video, I want to talk about one of the most intriguing things I've seen that costs not a fortune to help improve your golf game. Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you here. We're back in the studio. We're going to talk today about this new app. It's called Putt Vision. And I got to say, from somebody that likes to help people shoot lower scores, this might be one of the more intriguing apps that I've seen in a while. That's going to give you a ton of benefit for your golf game. So I can't wait to show you what we've been doing with it and hear your comments down below about what we see with it. Before I do that, again, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. We have more reviews coming up of some training aids. Make sure you click that subscribe button. We're going to have a G-Box review, visit back to how it's been going for me. Some of you have asked to see some progress with that, so we'll give you that. And as always, leave us a thumbs up if you like the video. Can't wait for you to see these upcoming ones. Thanks so much for the support. All right, so we're talking Putt Vision today, okay? So what is Putt Vision? It's an app that is on, right now it's iOS only, okay? But that doesn't mean it's not coming for Android. Typically we see this, especially in the golf space, stuff comes out for iOS first. They kind of get a feel for what's going on because they have to recode everything to go over to Android, and then they kind of just make things better and then put it out on Android as well. Try to have as few bugs across the platforms as possible. That's what I've seen, and that's, in my experience working with apps, that's what you try to do. Now, it's $5. You pay for it in the App Store, you download it, and then what is it? All right? It is an app that is going to use the AR capabilities of your smartphone. It's going to scan the green, and it's going to then map it out for you. So when you're out practicing putting, what I do is mark the ball and then mark where the hole is at, and it's going to read that putt for me. It's pretty interesting to see. Okay, so when I saw this, this is like what you see on TV where they draw the lines or they have the aim point stuff. They draw that and they fill in the gaps for you with the computer. I mean, it's basically the same thing in the palm of your hand that you can use anywhere. I've tried it on multiple greens, and you can use it at any time. Pretty sweet. For some of us that have done aim point, or those aim pointers, you know, the people that hold up the fingers when they're reading the greens, this is basically what it's doing for you. It's doing that as we're going along. So pretty interesting idea. So what does it look like? How does it work? Well, first things you do, you get up to a green, you're going to map out the green. You're going to be holding it. You're going to be going back and forth, scanning the green. The first time I did this, it actually took a minute or so, but then since doing that, it's actually been very, very quick, only taking a few seconds to map out that green as I've gone. From there, you're gonna mark the position of the ball. Then you have to walk slowly up to the hole, and you gotta mark where the hole is. Within a second or two, after you mark those positions, it's going to give you a read of the green. Really, really cool. It's gonna show you where the putt is going to break, the line of the putt. It's gonna give you an aim point saying, hey, this arrow, I want you to aim at this arrow, and that's where the putt should start and start breaking in towards the hole. And then from there, it's also going to give you, if you select this option, it gives you some speed cones. You're gonna look at where is this putt going, as if I go to the high line or the short line, whatever you're doing, it's just gonna give you a lot of ways to look at a putt. So really, really cool and really interesting. The big question that we have is it accurate? How has it worked so far? So for me, in my experience, a couple of things. One, it's been pretty darn close. It has been when I do mark the ball and then I draw out the putt, it doesn't have the ball exactly where you start. So I always have to move the ball to the position where the putt is going to start from. So I think that's what you're supposed to do with it. Again, it's very new, but you move it to that start point and then you go from there. The other thing is sometimes the hole won't be exactly where you mark it, so I just reset it and do it again, and then it seems to work that time. So I think there's a little bit of, all right, we'll see some improvements on it as we go through and look at getting it marked a little bit cleaner in the whole process. But again, very, very easy to clean it up and make it work where it's back on its track. But that's a little thing as you go. From there, the first couple of putts I hit with it, they actually seem pretty close. Now, the one thing that you're gonna see is when you're reading the green, it's not gonna take into account, you know, the wind. It's not going to take into account any imperfections on the green. So in this particular putt, I hit one. You can see it's rolling down towards the hole, and as it gets right by the hole, it actually veers the other direction. To me, that actually looked like there was some imperfections from a long day of the green, and that's where that ball started veering off. So it can be a little bit affected by that, where you could say, oh, it's not accurate. Well, it might be some other factors that are not going to be picked up, I don't think, in this version where you would see that. So you got to remember, putting is a little bit of an imperfect science, even if you read it correctly. There is also some really cool features that go with it as far as alignment. We'll talk about that coming up here in a sec. But so far, so good. I hit a couple of putts. I was at least scaring the hole, and I did make a few, hitting it exactly where we were going. What I did was put a ball onto the aim point spot so I could see where I'm aiming and see where I would hit the putt. And if I felt like I hit it and started at that point and I had good speed, I wanted to see it be very close, if not go into the hole. Again, worked pretty good. I think it might get fine-tuned as we go, but it seemed to work pretty good. What are we going to be able to do with this? Okay, so we've got this cool piece of technology, this sorcery, as we're saying, right? We've got this cool thing. Now, how can this help us improve? Well, let's think about putting first. What do you need to be able to do in putting? You need to be able to start the ball on line. Okay, well, you got to be able to start it on the intended line of what you're doing. I was able to set up my phone and actually get this ball where you can use the camera while you're hitting putts. If you had a way to be able to look down, maybe if those glasses, I haven't tried any of that stuff, but if you had some of the AR glasses and stuff where you could see what's on your head, you could actually see the screen as you're looking down at the ball. That would actually be a really interesting thing. The other thing I would use is we have our live view, we have our pods that we can just tripod it and flip it over so it would be looking straight down on the ball. I think that would be helpful. But looking down, well, you can still see the lines. So if I'm looking at my putt and I hit, I can still see the lines and where it all went. Now, I also have tried setting it up behind, but I wanted to see if I could see exactly where I'm starting it online, getting the camera low. It didn't work exactly for that purpose with the AR lines. It got too distorted, so the lines weren't appearing properly. But if I mark my ball on the aim point, I could see that, hey, I started that putt right at the ball, and that's where the ball went, and that's where it went. So I can see if I'm starting it online. The other thing we can do, we can work on speed. If you know the line of a putt, you can tell if your speed is good, because we typically want to see a ball roll a foot to 18 inches past the cup. You can start seeing, hey, I hit this putt and I'm not making it because it's going too far, too soft. That's always very helpful to work on. And then the other thing you can work on is green reading, right? You can work on green reading and seeing what you're doing. So what I like to do was actually, I did a couple of tests where I put the ball out there first where I thought it was going to say, and then I went and actually did the test or did the app and see where it pointed me to. See if I got pretty close or not. You can do a little bit of practice right there, see how your green reading is. One little bonus feature that goes along with using it is there's an alignment mode where it will actually put your feet, and it will tell you, hey, if you have your putter and your feet, if you want to set up perpendicular to the start line, here's where you set up. So that's a great little tool, because a lot of alignment is just being able to see what your perspective is towards this putt. You know, you have to practice just getting set up in perfect alignment, and that's how you get really good at it. So you can use this and see what you can do. I thought that was pretty cool too. So a really interesting app. It's only $5. It takes the power of your smartphone. These things are getting crazy nowadays. It's gonna let you see, hey, I can get better, I can improve, but again, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars. I'd be very interested. I'm gonna be trying this out, seeing how my scores changed since I've been using it, how my putting has changed, using my stats apps that I use. I'm gonna use that to see what we can do and see how we can improve. So it'll be interesting to see over the next couple weeks. So again, that is the Putt Vision app. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you liked it, or if you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. We're gonna be exploring this app over the next couple of weeks. Let us know what you wanna know. Thanks everybody for watching. Click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.